The leaders of Japan and the Philippines are in the U.S. this week for meetings on strengthening trilateral ties in the face of increased tensions with China.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's state visit to the U.S. includes talks with President Joe Biden and a joint address to both houses of Congress. It's expected to lead to renewed agreements in areas of defense, space, trade, and artificial intelligence. Nick Harper reports.
The flags are out in force, a reminder that the Biden-Kishida bond has helped to cement some of the strongest US-Japan ties in years, with Tokyo becoming one of Washington's most dependable Asian allies during President Joe Biden's time in office.
The U.S. and Japan are about as closely aligned as you can get. And in many ways, Kishida has been an unexpectedly strong leader from an American perspective. Strong in his support for Ukraine, strong in making decisions to increase defense spending in a rather dramatic way, strong in leading the G7 last year.
The visit underscores the importance the Biden administration places on Indo-Pacific security, completing, as it does, high-level trips to Washington by fellow leaders of the Quad countries, following Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit in June last year and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's in October. Deliverables from Mr. Biden and Mr. Kishida's meetings could include the biggest upgrade to the US-Japan Security Pact since the 1960s, with the potential to bolster planning and exercises as part of strengthening maritime security. One thing Prime Minister Kishida is also expected to make clear in the US during his time here this week is how Japan is helping Americans. He's expected to visit an EV battery manufacturing plant to show how Japanese investment is leading to economy-boosting, job-creating opportunities. But a domestic issue that could sour this trip involves Nippon Steel's $15 billion deal to buy US steel. With one eye on November's election and the need to get endorsements from unions, President Biden is opposing the sale of the iconic American manufacturer.
That issue will be held off to the side, or at a minimum dealt with behind closed doors. Look, it's a fact of life. It's a very unfortunate intrusion of domestic politics into the commercial realm.
Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will join Mr. Biden and Mr. Kishida on Thursday for a first-of-its-kind trilateral meeting between the three countries.
It's a remarkable meeting. I can't remember another meeting like this with a third leader joining at the back end of a bilateral summit. And the fact that it's the Philippines says a lot about how much the relationship, both for Tokyo and Washington, with Manila has improved. You know, during the Duterte years, the relationship with the Philippines was quite difficult for the United States. It's completely turned a corner under President Marcos.
China is expected to loom large during both days of meetings.
It's certainly the intention, I believe, of the three leaders to demonstrate, in large part, that the Philippines is not alone, that the West certainly is standing up for adherence to international law, to global norms. That's an important message.
China's assertiveness, in particular in the South China Sea, has created a common sense of purpose for all three countries, seeking a united front to counter Beijing. Nick Harper, CNA, Washington.